created a ruckus. The script goes on, it just never ends. Yet another MP trying to flex her privileged muscles on an Air India flight and national carrier. She's refused to comply with the staff's request. They had asked her for a very simple swap. They had requested her, Dola Sen, to shift her senior citizen mother's seat from the emergency exit. The MP refused and created a ruckus. Now, I'm not going to get judgmental immediately here. I'm going to wait for more details and both versions to come out before I pronounce judgment on this. Saurav, however, joins us now with some details. Saurav, what do we know at this point?
In fact, we are picking up now that the Dola Sen essentially refused to abide as per the set protocols, and she was supposed to be on board an Air India flight. She was traveling from Kolkata to Delhi, and that is where this incident happened. And what we are now picking up from our sources is that she allegedly misbehaved with the Air India personnel who were there. There was a special request that she had made since she was traveling with her mother. Her version of the story is, though we are yet to speak with her, but sources close to her tell us that she wanted a change of seat, which apparently, as per Dola Sen's version, that Air India did not comply with, which is why she created a ruckus. And allegedly, there was an altercation that followed, and the flight got delayed by about between 25 to 30 minutes.
All right, yet another instance of the MP perhaps trying to use her privilege and her status as an MP to try and get away with flouting the norms and the rules. We will get both versions in just a bit, as you said, Saurav. But the Air India version is quite clear right now. They believe that their staff had asked her for a very routine request. She refused, and we'll try and wait for Dola Sen's version as well. So another MP on the day when Ravinder Gaikwad gets away scot-free, clean shit from the Civil Aviation Ministry, Dola Sen, yet another member of Parliament, has created a ruckus on board a flight on Air India, the national carrier. Waiting for details on this one. We will focus on this as we go along. Dola Sen, she is a member of Parliament, was travelling with her senior citizen mother, and when asked by the Air India staff to please shift her seat because it was at the emergency exit, and rules and norms indicate, I believe, that someone who is absolutely able-bodied in top physical condition should always be sitting at the emergency exit seat. Now, she has declined, and she has created a ruckus on board that Air India flight. Dola Sen, long list of privileged politicians, MPs, MLAs, and the likes. She joins that list today. We will wait for her version, and we will wait before we pronounce any judgment here. Not that we do usually, but sort of still with me right now. In fact, we've lost that connection right now. And we'll try and get back to Saurabh and many other inputs coming in right now. In the meantime, I can tell you that coming on the same day as the Ravinder Gaikwad letter and the ministry giving him absolutely no even slap on the wrist here and getting away scot-free, this news of Dola Sen comes as a stark reminder of the privilege some elites enjoy in this country. Ford Halim of the CPIM joins us now on the phone line. Ford, reactions. It just happens on the same day where Gaikwad gets away scot-free. It's just like rubbing it in our faces.
Absolutely. This VIP culture that is overtaking the political hierarchy of the various parties in India, I think so, is an unfortunate expression, especially in terms of the public sector companies, where they have started to believe that these are actually their domestic, what we call help. And the way that the Air India staff have been treated previously by Gaikwad, and at this point of time that the entire Air India infrastructure has been delayed by the TMC MP, smacks of this absolutely feudal, what you call, attitude with which these elected people believe that they have ownership of all these companies. I think so it should be condemned in the harshest of words, and this sort of behavior should be brought to the notice of the Speaker, because ultimately a member is representing the respectability of the House. It is far more unfortunate that the Speaker is not taking strident action in these issues, and along with the individual members of the House, the entire House and the entire democratic, what we call, exercise is being shown in a very poor light.
Right, Mr. Halim, thanks very much for joining us with your reaction to that story. So really, it has been a day of our errant netas, it seems. This round certainly going to them with the Ravinder Gaikwad episode clearly demonstrating how our netas, drunk on power, can get away with just about anything it would seem. Of course, another instance of an MP creating a ruckus once again on an Air India flight, delaying the takeoff by more than half an hour. All right, Sudhakar Reddy of the Cabin Crew Association of Air India now joins us on the phone line. Mr. Reddy, your first reaction to the series of developments that have taken place today. Ravinder Gaikwad being allowed to flight once again, despite the fact that there's been no apology forthcoming from the MP, and now another instance of an MP throwing her weight around and delaying an Air India flight.
See, first of all, let me tell you that you have given my designation wrongly. I have nothing to do with cabin crew. I am the national president of the Air Passengers Association of India, which makes it big difference. And whatever the member of parliament has done is because we are setting wrong examples in this country, and naturally many more such incidents will take place in future where passengers will be forced to suffer because of the high-handedness of our politicians, especially the members of parliament who are thinking that they are superior to than the other passengers in a flight.
All right, Mr. Reddy, thanks very much for joining us with your perspective. We are, in fact, getting more reactions to this development. Let's listen in.
कबार हर आदमी से टेम्पर लूज हो जाती है. आप एमपीज को या किसी वीआईपी कोई भी हो, स्टार हो, एक्टर हो, सिंगर हो, आप उसे सॉफ्ट टारगेट मत बनाइए, ट्रायल बाय मीडिया मत कीजिए. बहुत सारे ऐसे वीडियोस भी है, हम लोग बहुत इमोशनल हो गए थे. बहुत सारे ऐसे वीडियोस भी है जिसमें ये दिख रहा है कि शिवसेना के एमपी को जो है उनके साथ बदसलूकी की गई थी. उन्होंने जो किया, कहीं भी मैं उसको समर्थन नहीं कर रहा हूं, लेकिन दोनों तरफ की बात सुनने के बाद हमें नतीजे में पहुंचना चाहिए. ट्रायल बाय मीडिया होना नहीं चाहिए. कैसे इसको एडिट करोगे?
Well, more support coming in for the MP who's indulged in hooliganism of mammoth proportions. Now you have Union Minister Babul Supriyo, young leader of the BJP from West Bengal, actually saying, don't turn politicians into soft targets. There should be no trial by media. Well, fact of the matter is that it is the errant MP who's got away with a criminal offense, it would seem. And yet we have a situation where not only has the flying ban that was imposed on him earlier now been lifted under pressure from his party that has been indulging in brazen hooliganism for days now, but now you actually have some of his fellow MPs coming forward expressing not just support but sympathy for this man, saying don't make people like him soft targets. There should not be trial by media. So really that is the state of affairs at the moment, which has led many people to believe this is really a loss for India as netas like this end up winning. All right, let's now go across to my colleague Saurav Sanyal, who now joins us with more on these two stories. Saurav, as we've been reporting, this really seems to be a day of errant netas really winning the day. Despite so much public outrage, despite all the outcry, you first have the ban on Ravinder Gaikwad being lifted, and now another instance of a Air India flight by over half an hour, causing massive inconvenience to passengers and creating a ruckus for no reason.
Well, that's right. In fact, Neha, what we are getting to hear now is that Trinamool Congress's Rajya Sabha MP Dola Sen, she essentially ended up delaying the Air India flight from Delhi to Kolkata by 30 minutes. She was requested by the Air India staff to change seats since she was traveling with her mother, who was, traveling with her as a senior citizen, but then she refused to budge from her seat. And the Air India staff had put in a request keeping in mind the convenience factor of the senior citizen who was traveling as a passenger on that flight. But she refused to abide by the security protocol. She said that she had to be given preferential treatment first, and then subsequently she demanded that, whatever request that she was putting out, whatever appeal she was putting out, that she should be heard first without listening to what the Air India had to say. And the Air India staff had requested Dola Sen, essentially, as I was telling you, Neha, to shift a senior citizen mother's seat from the emergency exit. Remember, the emergency exit is a very, very critical seat, and the airline staff generally request senior citizens or people who are they come down before the takeoff of the flight. They come down personally to talk to people and passengers who are seated on the emergency exits and brief them about the emergency procedures. But Dola Sen's contention was that that is a seat that has a maximum leg space, which was very comfortable for her mother. She refused to budge from that seat. She refused to see any reason in the argument that was being put forth by Air India, and in the process, she ended up delaying the flight by well over half an hour.
Right. Yet another instance of MPs with their sense of entitlement and privileges throwing their weight around and hoping to, of course, get away with it. And why would they not think that they can get away with it? Take the case of Ravinder Gaikwad. This is only going to embolden our netas, our political class, who probably now would believe that they can get away with pretty much anything. All right, we are continuing to get more and more reactions to these developments. Kalpana Reddy joins us on the phone line. Ma'am, your thoughts on these two episodes that seem to have taken place back to back in the space of just a few minutes. Really, this seems to be a snub to the Aam Aadmi in this country.
Hi, this is Kalpana Ravi, not Reddy. Yes, outraged, and MPs have really become emboldened because one, Ravindra Gaikwad has been, let to fly. But, she is an MP. She doesn't know the basic thing of airline safety, that children and senior citizens are not allowed on the emergency seat. I mean, and what kind of attitude is this? You have delayed a flight where somebody must be going for an emergency on that flight. I mean, I really don't understand this. And I wish our MPs had more sense. Also wish that the Lok Sabha takes action on such people. I mean, why should the common man suffer for these kind of ego hassles these people are going through? We haven't elected them for them to throw their weight around, have we? I mean, they are there to govern us. They are there to be our representative in the parliament. What kind of attitude is this? That, I'm better than the common man, and Aam Aadmi can go take a walk. People on the flight who have emergencies are not bothered, but I will stand by my ego and not listen to what the airlines is telling me.
Right. Well, clearly, ma'am, while we may question the attitude of the netas, but can we really now blame them for feeling that they are above the law? Because fact of the matter is that Ravinder Gaikwad has got away with his hooliganism. So clearly the message that is going out from the government today is simply this: as long as you're a neta, as long as you have the right political connections, as long as you have the backing of a political party, you can get away with pretty much anything. That really is the message that seems to be going out. All right, Ms. Ravi, thanks very much for joining us with your perspective on that. We're also now joined on the phone line by Nelson from Goa. Nelson, go ahead. What are your thoughts on these big stories of the day?
I feel very, very ashamed that Ravindra Gaikwad has been left off the hook by the government and by the civil aviation minister. It is nothing but because Shiv Sena is their partner.
Right. All right, Nelson, thanks very much for joining us and sharing your views with us. We are continuing to get more and more reactions from our viewers. Our phones are really ringing off the hook. Naresh calling us from Hyderabad now. Naresh, go ahead, share your thoughts with us on what we see happening at the moment. Is this really a defeat for the common citizen of this country today?
Definitely, ma'am. Good evening. If the MPs are going to behave like this, no passengers like me will travel in Air India. Then let the Air India, as it is going into loss, and they will only fly MPs, not any other passengers, citizens like you and me. Thank you very much.
Right. Thanks very much, Naresh, for sharing your thoughts with us. We're now also joined by Sundar from Hyderabad. Sundar, what are your thoughts on the big stories that we are playing out here? Whether it is Ravinder Gaikwad's hooliganism and the fact that he's got away with it, or, the story of this Trinamool MP who created a ruckus for no reason and delayed an Air India flight by more than half an hour. Clearly, our netas, our politicians, especially our MPs and ministers, seem to think that Air India is their private property.
No, I am a common man. I'm a common man, worked as an engineer, aged about 70 years. These two gundas, actually we should never call them as MPs. Even they are unfit to shoot them. He is called as Gaikwad. He is Guy, not Wad.
Right.
Even an animal will not behave like that. That idiot, he is beating with chappals to an official. He is a man or a inhuman. That is what I wanted to convey my message. This another is Dola son, you are telling. Is she a woman or something else? Otherwise it's a tigress.
Mr. Murthy, the question is, do you believe what is currently happening in the country is really a defeat of the common man, an ordinary person like you, an ordinary citizen like me?
No, it is very bad, madam. I am very, very sad of it. For all these people, we fools are voting. We are fools voting all these people to get beaten by chappals.
Right.
Feeling so much sorry for this. But the guy was shooted. He must be shot dead.
Well, Mr. Murthy, I am not sure anybody would recommend something like that, because then what would be the difference between this neta and us? We cannot encourage anyone to take the law into their own hands. I understand your anger. Everyone is angry with this gentleman over his conduct and the fact that he remains brazen and refuses to even apologize. But clearly we cannot encourage anyone to take the law into their own hands. What we simply want is for the law to take its own course and for the concerned authorities to take stringent action against the man. But that doesn't seem to be happening, and that is what is making people across the country angry. All right, we have another caller at this point, Sanjay, former secretary of the cabin crew of Air India, joining us on the phone line now. Sanjay, go ahead, share with us your thoughts on these two stories that we are talking about at the moment. Ravinder Gaikwad getting away with his hooliganism, and another instance of an MP throwing their weight around, a Trinamool MP delaying a flight, creating a ruckus for absolutely no reason, because they all seem to believe that Air India is their private property. Sanjay, can you hear me? All right, we seem to have lost the line there to Sanjay. We are, of course, continuing to take more reactions from our viewers and encouraging you to share your thoughts with us, to tell us what you think about this Netagiri, or shall we call it Gundagiri, that is now being witnessed in this country. Let's first take a look at the Ravinder Gaikwad story. He assaulted an Air India staffer who was simply doing his job. He bragged about it on camera, saying, yes, I hit him with my slipper 25 times. He remained defiant all this while, shamelessly brazening it out, refusing to apologize. But despite all the public outrage, with Air India lifting the flying ban on him, the Civil Aviation Minister today wrote to Air India asking the airline to lift the ban on the MP. The national carrier, which had thus far stuck to its guns, relented. This comes the day after the Shiv Sena raised a ruckus over the issue in Parliament, geared out the Civil Aviation Minister, who had to be escorted out, and issued a string of threats saying they would not let flights take off from the Mumbai airport if the ban on their goon MP wasn't lifted. So the question is simply this. What message does this episode send out? That if you're a neta in this country, if you're an MP, if you have the backing of a political party, no matter what you do, no matter how you behave, you cannot be touched. Your privileges will remain intact. You can get away with pretty much anything. You're simply above the law. Let's listen in to what Ravinder Gaikwad has said about this episode over the last few days.
मैंने सैंडल से 25 मारा है। मारा है, मैं उससे मुकर रहा नहीं हूँ। अगर मैंने 10-11 बजे मारा है उसके सीनियर ऑफिसर को, तो अभी वो यूनियन ने स्ट्राइक किया होता, एयर इंडिया बंद किया होता, मेरी गलती होता तो। मेरी गलती नहीं, एयर इंडिया वालों की गलती है। वो आके मुझे माफी मांगे बगैर मैं चुप नहीं बैठने वाला। मैंने कहा कि मैं एमपी हूँ, तो वह चिल्ला कर बोला एमपी हुआ तो क्या हुआ, तू नरेंद्र मोदी है क्या? ये बोलकर उन्होंने मेरी कॉलर पकड़कर ढकेलने की कोशिश की। इस दुर्व्यवहार और अपमानित करने वाले बर्ताव से मुझे गुस्सा आया और मैंने उसे ढकेल दिया। मैडम जी, उसको मैंने धकेल दिया। देश की संसद और संसदों के खिलाफ अभद्र भाषा का इस्तेमाल किया गया, गाली गलौज की।
Coming in right now, that Trinamool Congress Member of Parliament from the Rajya Sabha, Dola Sen, delayed an Air India flight by about 30 to 40 minutes because she was insisting, she kept insisting on a seat with more leg room for her mother. Her mother had been given an emergency exit seat which she couldn't operate, obviously. Airline staff wanted her to move, she wouldn't move.
Well, without knowing the situation in detail, I wouldn't want to make an MP a soft target. You know, you go to the airports, there are situations where for half an hour, 20 minutes, the flight, the staff of the airlines, they really do not know why a flight is getting delayed. Sometimes it's because of weather, sometimes it's because of air traffic control, sometimes because of mechanical failure. But you find people getting very agitated and shouting at the airline staff. That happens with everyone. I am saying that that is not the way to behave. But losing temper in stressful situations, it happens with everyone, from a general person to someone who's a VIP, be it an MP or an actor or whatever it is, a rock star. One should not make an MP or someone from politics a soft target and do a trial by the media. That's not fair, because see, you're talking about VVIP racism. Now, all of you are renowned journalists who have access to this place. You get direct access to the ministers. You get their first-time reactions. The moment we have something discussed in the parliament, you get first-time reactions from the horse's mouth. That's true. You have achieved that. You have earned that for yourself. This is not what the fact that all of you are standing here, journalists. You have earned it for yourself with your hard work. You're not under any kind. You're not practicing any kind of VVIP racism. If I tell you surrender your accreditation badges and stand in line and then enter, you're going to miss the interviews of the most important moments of the day. So that won't be fair. So similarly, an MP or a politician who has earned a place inside this parliament may have won his seat or her seat with a lot of hard work and having won the confidence of the voters. A minister has worked hard to gain that particular position. So don't make anyone, I'm not talking about a politician or MP, don't make anyone a soft target. Everyone goes through red card situations in football, or as we see in hockey, red card situations in life. Look at it with a little bit of, I wouldn't say empathy or sympathy, but a little bit of rationale to make sure that we are not being one-sided in the way we are judging it.
I see it that this is a member of parliament, we're talking about, and hence probably it gets highlighted a little bit more. But like the civil aviation minister said on the floor of the house, that this is not about a member of parliament, it is about a passenger delaying a flight because of their own personal reasons.
Well, I think, I know all of this discussion is happening because of Mr. Gaikwad, our MP from Shiv Sena. I think one also has to interview the gentleman with whom he got into altercation with and find out whether what he said, ki you are not Modi, Modi to nahi hai na, whether he really said that. One,
He denies it.
He denies it, but his colleague, the lady air hostess or the member from Air India, she did say it a couple of times that he never did that. Look, I am not at all, I hope you don't edit this out, I am not at all in favor of any kind of bodily harm or violence or abusing at any public place, especially coming from people who are in the limelight or who are expected to behave in a certain manner. I'm saying that. But having said that, trial by media or calling someone, I'm not talking specifically from Mr. Gaikwad, but making someone soft target and then using the word VVIP racism is not probably correct, because everyone earns something in today's dog-eat-dog world with their hard work and not by gift from anyone.
So you feel that the ban which was in fact invoked against Mr. Gaikwad was unfair? Which has now been...
I think that, he has definitely, I would not say party, parliament, it's an isolated situation with one MP. I would look at it individually. He definitely has brought disrepute to himself. There's no questioning that. He, I'm sure, has been embarrassed when his flights got, cancelled, bookings got cancelled. So I think he has been, what should I say? You want to use the word reprimand, you want to use the word, he has paid for his losing his temper. We all pay the price when we lose temper in a situation, irrespective of the fact who was at fault. So he has gone through his thing. I think that whatever the parliament and whatever everyone has decided unanimously, that should stay. My personal personal opinion should not really matter.
Just one final question. Dola Sen's reasons for delaying the flight justified or unjustified? Because it inconveniences other passengers at the end of the day.
I was not in the flight. I am not aware of it. Whatever is going to be shown in the media, I will see that. She is the one with whom I have fought in Asansol. I have beaten her to come to Lok Sabha. I know her personally. I would really want to know what was the problem with her mother. As you said, that she had some problems with her legs. So I would look at it as a medical thing. Just because she's from TMC and my opposition party, I'm not going to say anything against her. I would want to see what the actual situation is and definitely make a comment on that afterwards.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. With video journalist Jenna Polami Saha in Delhi for NewsX. Coming in.
Right, now NewsX is in fact getting a reaction from Air India to this latest controversy. The Air India spokesperson in fact has told NewsX, and I quote, Air India remains committed to ensuring that its employees are not assaulted and misbehaved with by any passenger, and would always take strong action to preserve the dignity of its employees at all times. Of course, many are wondering why Air India finally relented and decided to remove the flying ban from the MP. But of course, this comes after the Civil Aviation Minister had written to Air India asking for the ban to be lifted. All right, my colleague Ashish Singh now joins us on the phone line. Ashish, going by this statement that we've got from Air India to this latest development, it would seem as if Air India is probably not entirely happy with the decision that they've been almost forced to take after the Civil Aviation Minister wrote to them, given that till yesterday they had stuck to their guns.
Exactly, Neha, and it's pretty evident in the way the series of things have unfolded in last couple of weeks that Air India has been completely arm twisted, has been suppressed by the Ministry of Civil Aviation and by the government at large. Now, issue here is that the Air India, the statement is basically with respect to Ravindra Gaikwad issue and not related to the latest incident of TMC MP. But what is basically Air India is trying to say in this official statement that they just sent to me a short while ago is that due to the order, the director directed by the Ministry of Civil Aviation to lift the ban in view of apology tendered by Mr. Gaikwad to the Honorable Minister of Civil. It's pretty evident that Mr. Ravindra Gaikwad has finally won. He has not apologized to the Air India staffer, the one who has filed FIR against him. He has not apologized to the Air India other staffers who are trying to convince him. We can see in the visuals not only that particular Air India staffer who is a senior citizen, but the air hostess, the Air India security, the ground crew. Everyone was trying to convince Mr. Ravindra Gaikwad, and he continued to misbehave and physically assaulted. This is what the FIR says. He has brazenly just written a letter to the Civil Aviation Minister Gajapati Raju and did nothing as far as the Air India staffers are concerned. And this is exactly what the Air India has made it very clear in its statement that Air India remains committed to ensure that its employees are not assaulted. But unfortunately, the Ministry of Civil Aviation gets an upper hand.
Certainly, really a shocking and sad story there. Thanks very much, Ashish, for getting us all those details. So Air India, in a sense, forced to lift that ban that had been imposed earlier on this goon MP after the Civil Aviation Ministry intervened and asked Air India to lift the ban. Perhaps the airline really left with no choice there, despite the fact that they've taken a tough principled stand and stuck to their guns all along. All right, we continue to get more reactions to these developments. Let's listen in.
With the proof available and yet he's allowed to go scot-free can only be a sad thing in the way our system functions. I would have ideally liked the ban to continue. This will also send out a message that a politician, irrespective of his acts of misdemeanors, can go scot-free in our world.
There you have it. The message that clearly goes out is that if you're a Neta, if you have the backing of the right people, if you have enough political clout, you can get away with pretty much anything. So most people really seeing this as a victory for the goon Neta and a defeat for the common citizen and law-abiding citizens of this country. One controversy after another today. What are they saying now about this episode involving Trinamool MP Dola Sen?
Well, you've just received confirmation from the national carrier Air India's spokesperson. He's basically describing the sequence of events that has unfolded in case of Rajya Sabha MP from Trinamool Congress, Dola Sen. Now, basically the issue here was the business class seat and the wheelchair. Now, I'm told that she booked ticket by Make My Trip app and she paid extra money for front row seats. She was allocated 11J, 11G and 11H. These are the three seats that were allocated to her and the couple of people who were traveling with her. Now, all these seats are emergency exit row. Since she had paid for an extra seat with an extra legroom. That's the reason she was given 11J, 11G and 11H. Now, what is Air India is telling us now is that there was no remark of wheelchair during the booking. As far as the TMC MP Dola Sen's booking is concerned, she had not mentioned about the wheelchair demand. Now, as per the rule, the civil aviation requirement, the car rule of DGCA.
All right, Ashish, thanks very much for joining us with those details. We'll come back to you later for more. So Air India addressing one controversy after another, now releasing a statement on Trinamool MP Dola Sen, who allegedly misbehaved with their staff and caused a 40-minute delay. All right, let's once again play out for you that interview that my colleague Palumi did a short while ago with Union Minister Babul Supriyo, who seemed to express a great deal of sympathy for people like Ravinder Gaikwad, saying, let's not treat politicians as soft targets. There should be no trial by media. Let's listen into what the minister had to say.
Parliament from the Rajya Sabha, Dola Sen, delayed an Air India flight by about 30 to 40 minutes because she was insisting. She kept insisting on a seat with more leg room for her mother. Her mother had been given an emergency exit seat, which she couldn't operate, obviously. Airline staff wanted her to move. She wouldn't move.
Well, without knowing the situation in detail, I wouldn't want to make an MP a soft target. You know, you go to the airports, there are situations where for half an hour, 20 minutes, the flight, the staff of the airlines, they really do not know why a flight is getting delayed. Sometimes it's because of weather, sometimes it's because of air traffic control, sometimes because of mechanical failure. But you find people getting very agitated and shouting at the airline staff. That happens with everyone. I am saying that that is not the way to behave. But losing temper in stressful situations, it happens with everyone, from a general person to someone who's a VIP, be it an MP or an actor or whatever it is, a rock star. One should not make an MP or someone from politics a soft target and do a trial by the media. That's not fair, because see,
I don't know exactly what happened to that. But I would request all the MPs, not the MPs, but also all the public representatives, सबको बहुत होशियार होना जरूरी है. होशियार इसलिए होना जरूरी है, they are representing the people of the limit of tolerance.
Well, he assaulted an Air India staffer who was simply doing his job. He bragged about it on camera, saying, "I hit him with my slipper 25 times. He remained defiant all this while, shamelessly brazening it out, refusing to apologize. But despite all the public outrage, the condemnation, the anger, Shiv Sena MP Gaikwad, who's acquired the dubious title of a goon MP, has won, with Air India lifting the flying ban on him. The Civil Aviation Minister today wrote to Air India asking the airline to lift the ban on the MP. The national carrier, which had thus far stuck to its guns, relented. This comes a day after the Shiv Sena raised a ruckus over the issue in Parliament. It hear out the Civil Aviation Minister, who had to be escorted out, and issued a string of threats, saying they would not let flights take off from the Mumbai airport if the ban on their goon MP wasn't lifted. So the question is simply this: what message does this episode send out? That if you're a Neta in this country, if you're an MP, if you have the backing of a political party, no matter what you do or how you behave, you cannot be touched. Your privileges will remain intact. You can get away with pretty much anything. You're simply above the law.
मैंने सैंडल से 25 मारा है। मैंने सैंडल से 25 मारा है। मैंने मारा है। मैं उससे मुकर रहा नहीं हूँ। अगर मैंने 10-11 बजे मारा है उसके सीनियर ऑफिसर को, तो अभी वो यूनियन ने स्ट्राइक किया होता, एयर इंडिया बंद किया होता, मेरी गलती होता तो। मेरी गलती नहीं, एयर इंडिया वालों की गलती है। वो आके मुझे माफी मांगे बगैर मैं चुप नहीं बैठने वाला। मैंने कहा कि मैं एमपी हूँ, तो वह चिल्ला कर बोला, एमपी हुआ तो क्या हुआ, तू नरेंद्र मोदी है क्या? ये बोलकर उन्होंने मेरी कॉलर पकड़कर ढकेलने की कोशिश की। इस दुर्व्यवहार और अपमानित करने वाले बर्ताव से मुझे गुस्सा आया और मैंने उसे ढकेल दिया। मैडम जी, उसको मैंने ढकेल दिया। देश की संसद और संसदों के खिलाफ अभद्र भाषा का इस्तेमाल किया गया, गाली गलौज की।
First of all, it is a process of law. Law should take its own course. Whatever the member wants, they can do that on the other side. In my other thing, when I made a submission to the House on that civil aviation requirement, it is not a member of parliament. It is a passenger. I made that very clear. I'm on record in that.
10 तारीख तक ये मामला नहीं सुलझा तो हम एनडीए के मीटिंग में नहीं जाएंगे। और ये मैं उद्धव जी से बात करने के बाद आपसे बयान, आपका भाई मेरा बयान नहीं, पार्टी चीफ का बयान है, समझ लीजिए। मैं उनकी तरफ से बोल रहा हूं कि नहीं होगा।
With the proof available and yet he's allowed to go scot-free can only be a sad thing in the way our system functions. I would have ideally liked the ban to continue. This will also send out a message that a politician, irrespective of his acts of misdemeanors, can go scot-free in our world.
It was but expected that they were going to lift the ban. It's a little bit late also. Then again, I think Air India shouldn't have taken such a step. There were mistakes from both the sides. Both sides should have taken a step back and compromised, and wouldn't this whole scene wouldn't have been there on the national scenario.
जिस घटना का अंत अगर अच्छा हुआ है तो सारा अच्छा हुआ, इसे मैं समझता हूँ। हर चीज कोई आसानी से होती है ऐसे नहीं है। बोला था, प्यार से नहीं हुआ तो थोड़ा संघर्ष करना पड़ा, और वो उस दायरे में रखकर हमने किया, उसका मीठा फल मिला, बस हुआ। अब
We are a contracting state under the Tokyo Convention. We have undertaken to abide by the Tokyo Convention and the Chicago Convention. We must do that. Our demand is that he must apologize and let the law take its course.
The ban placed by Air India on Mr. Gaikwad has therefore been lifted with immediate effect. Air India, however, remains committed to ensure that its employees are not assaulted and neither misbehaved with by any passenger, and would always take strong action to preserve the dignity of its employees at all times.
It's a welcome decision, it's a good decision by government. This should not be implicated on all workers, all others. Passengers should be free in freedom. Our India it's a freedom country, so it's a good thing.
जो रविंद्र गायकवाड़ ने किया, मैं उसको सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा हूँ, उनको जस्टिफाई नहीं कर रहा हूँ। उन्होंने जो किया गलत किया,
पर मैं कहने का समझता हूं कि इस पूरे मामले की इंक्वायरी जरूर होनी चाहिए थी। तो आई थिंक कहीं ना कहीं डीजीसी पॉलिसीज में भी थोड़ा अमेंडमेंट आना चाहिए। दूसरी चीज जो एयर इंडिया ने बैन किया है, मैं समझता हूं प्रीमैच्योर था एंड आर्बिट्ररी था।